Good morning. Before the start of the plenary meeting, we would like to inform that this is a live streaming event through the University of Cyprus website. Photography, audio, and video will occur during the event. Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and representatives of embassies in Cyprus, Director General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture at the European Commission, former European Commissioner for Education, Culture, Multilingualism and Youth, Ms. Androula Vasiliou, Commissioner for Volunteerism and Non-Governmental Organizations, Director of Higher Education at the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports and Youth, dear partners and associates, dear colleagues and students, good morning. The University of Cyprus and the partners of the Young University for the Future of Europe Alliance warmly welcome you to the first ever open event of the Alliance held right here in Cyprus at the University of Cyprus. A warm welcome to Cyprus and at the University of Cyprus. We hope that you will find the YUFE Plenary meeting informative and worthwhile. I will not say more about the YUFE Alliance as we have our speakers to inform us about it. Without further ado, I kindly invite the Rector of the University of Cyprus, Professor Tassos Christophidis, for his welcoming address. Mr. Rector, the floor is yours.
Fellow Europeans, it is with great pleasure that we welcome you to the first meeting of YUFE at the University of Cyprus. 8 young universities, along with their associates, aspire to propose the future of education and research development in Europe through synergy and commitment to close cooperation. When this journey began, all partners were ambitious. When we succeeded, we were certain that YUFE, the Young Universities for the Future of Europe Alliance, had to work even more closely and passionately to move forward with dedication for implementing its visions. And this is just the beginning of our journey. I strongly believe that internationalization is the future of education, of research and innovation. It is the key for encouraging and inspiring entrepreneurs to create through the transfer and exchange of knowledge. And this aspect of knowledge transfer and exchange is vital for YUFE. One of the first universities, one of the first European universities that were positively evaluated by the European Commission. This is the second meeting of YUFE since the announcement of its launch. I am confident that YUFE will transcend our university's way of operation to a new level, a better and evolved one. Our alliance will focus on working closely with each other, using each partner's and associates' advantages and strengths, engaging the society, open studies, interaction with the cities, impact and cohesion through the empowerment of diversity are key aspects of YUFE. It is our honor that we have here with us today Ms. Themis Christophidou, Director General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture of the European Commission. I am looking forward to hearing from her how the Commission envisions European universities as ambassadors, as active contributors to the future of Europe. Dear partners and associates, I warmly welcome you to the University of Cyprus. I hope your stay here and your visit will be an enjoyable one. As for our discussions and planning for the future of YUFE, I am confident that these first steps, these initial meetings, will set a solid ground for the development of this innovative initiative. I am confident that the youth factor, our university's age, YUFE consists of 8 young universities under 50 years of age each. Our youth factor, our enthusiasm, our determination to succeed, the individual success stories of each party involved, combined with a strong team spirit, will lead to the creation of a model European university. All of you here today are believers, supporters of YUFE, and I would like to thank each one of you for your contribution and commitment. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rector, Professor Christophidis, for your address and continued support to YUFE. I'm delighted to invite Professor Martin Paul, President of Maastricht University and Chair of YUFE Alliance, for his opening remarks. Professor Paul, it is our pleasure to have you here. The floor is yours.
So, Kalimera, good morning. Welcome to all of you. It is very nice to be here. I would first, of course, thank the University of Cyprus for hosting this event. It is clear when we come in and see this campus that you are the spirit of this university. Many people we have met here shows us very clearly that this is, you are a fantastic partner for this alliance. We are very happy to have you here. And our alliance is an alliance that you probably would say are not the usual suspects in Europe. Some would say we are the new kids of block, but this was just our idea. If we want to take on the challenge to reflect what European universities are and how they can contribute to a common Europe, we thought that we have to think this project in a different way. And we have to think this project in a way that reflects our spirit and our younger history and also our, I would say, greater flexibility. And what we did was early on involve our students, ask them, because they are the citizens, the future of Europe, what their priorities are. And that helped us really to shape this project. And as I've said many times before, our idea is that we want to be excellent in what we do, but we don't want to be elitist, because we think one of the things that's hampering European integration is the idea that there are elites somewhere that are really ruling this Europe and others are left behind. That's why it's also for us very important that we involve universities that are in the new member states, and I should mention it is of course not only the 8 universities that are working together, but also the University of Rijeka in Croatia and the University Nicolaus Copernicus in Poland, to really provide a good map of Europe, of a Europe that is really stable for the future. And I believe, you know, if we are here in Nicosia in Cyprus, and as we've seen last night, a country that is divided by lines going through a city, which reminds me, as a former citizen of Berlin, very much of a time during the Cold War. I think particularly at the border of Europe, the idea of Europe is especially important to be represented. And of course, you know, we are also a network that wants to commit to sustainability and also reduce our climate footprint, but I think particularly in the first phase of our network cooperation, it is still important to visit each other, because when you make these first contacts, when you experience the atmosphere of our partner universities, our partners, when you see in what conditions they operate, you get a very good feel what this network has to achieve and what Europe is going to be about. And that will mean also that in the future, of course, we will reflect critically how we can have a sustainable travel policy, how we can interact in other ways. And you know, our project, the virtual campus, will be such a way how we can do this. But on the other hand, I've tried to swim to Cyprus, it would be a long way. Also, particularly our partners, which are, I would say, at the border of the European ecosystem, not to go there to see them and see what they do on the space would also be some form of discrimination. That's why we have to find a good balance between our challenge. One of our ideas was that education and the future of Europe and the role of universities is a holistic problem, holistic issue. That's why we also have other associate partners that are worthwhile mentioning. Chiron, Ardeco, an employability organization, Cairo, which particularly uses digital platforms to involve people who are not easily integrated in society, such as migrants, such as people from challenged social backgrounds, is an important partner. Ardeco, an employability organization, because we also say the road to Europe doesn't stop when you have your university degree or your degree in higher education. We have to move on to get a job, to make your contribution in society. That's why we also have the European Employers Association as associate partner. And of course, international testing services, because our idea of free movement and accessibility and European student cards means also that we have to find a way to make I would say, the barriers, so reduce the barriers of students and staff to go to other countries and follow. So we have a lot of challenges ahead, and I would say it was already a fantastic experience in writing our proposal, and it was very rewarding to see how it was scored, because we then saw that we obviously have filled in the ideas and the, I would say, vision of the Commission in a pretty good manner. But now, of course, the challenge is how we implement it, and we have to show that we can do it. So I would encourage all of us to really keep the focus, and if we can provide results after these 3 years, we have really made a contribution how the interaction between European universities and European societies can function in a new way. And by this, we also can contribute to a new and better Europe. So with that, I would say, let's keep the spirit and let's deliver now. Thank you very much.
We thank Professor Paul. On behalf of the Minister of Education, Culture, Sports and Youth of the Republic of Cyprus, Dr. Terpsa Konstantinidou, Director of Higher Education, will deliver opening remarks. Dr. Konstantinidou, the floor is yours.
Dear honorable guests, dear friends at the University of Cyprus, it is with great pleasure that I address today the launching event for the presentation of the Young Universities for the Future of Europe, YUFE Alliance, as one of the selected networks of European universities. This is considered to be a major step forward for the member states of the European Union in realizing the vision of the European higher education area. It is also an important step forward for the Cyprus higher education and the strategic goal of the Cyprus government to establish our country as a regional higher education and research center. The 8 young universities which participate in the YUFE Alliance are expected to make the vision of the European higher education area come true. Of course, the participation in this initiative of our first established university, the University of Cyprus, is considered highly important and proves the dedication of Cyprus higher education institutions to academic excellence. In 2017, after an important debate by the 28 European Union leaders on the future of education, the European Commission set out a vision to build the European education area by 2025, an area where borders will no longer be an obstacle to studying, learning, and research. An ambitious dream indeed, in which European Union seems to be dedicated. On June 26, 2019, the European Commission announced the selection of 17 networks out of 54 applications to become the first European universities. YUFE was selected to be one of these first 17 European universities that will act as role models for others across Europe. Within this initiative, next generations are about to experience higher education in Europe from a whole, we expect, new perspective. They will be given the opportunity to be part of inter-university campuses, either as students, doctoral candidates, staff, or researchers. They will be able to design their own curricula leading to a European degree. They will be offered recognition of learning periods in partner universities, complementary curricula and joint degrees, flexibility of curricular, mobility of students, staff and researchers, cooperation on different disciplines, to tackle issues of great importance for society and issues that concern Europe, such as climate change, sustainable agriculture, societal changes, promotion of the European values and the European identity, long-term strategy focus on sustainability, excellence and European values, joint research projects of academic staff, cooperation between academics and external partners are expected to be some of the main characteristics of these transnational alliances of higher education institutions across Europe. Nowadays, constant change in all aspects of our lives has become the norm rather than the exception. Unavoidably, the sector of education is undergoing rapid changes as well. Technological and structural changes impact teaching and learning. Education should be a leader in this constantly changing and evolving environment. It has a key role in every aspect of our society's development, and this has to be foreseen, and this has been foreseen by the European Union, which proceeded to the promotion and support of the new concept of European universities. A budget of up to 85 million is available for funding the first 17 European universities. UFES, as the other 16 selected alliances, will receive up to 5 million in the coming 3 years, so as to begin to put plans in action and pave the way for others to follow. The significance that the European Union attaches to this initiative is proved both by the high funding available for the first 17 European universities and also by the intention to systematically monitor the progress of selected alliances. YUFE Alliance will allow students to build their own individual curricula based on study programs offered by the 8 universities participating in this alliance. YUFE card will be used in all 8 universities of the alliance. The official language will be English. However, students studying for a certain period of time in another country are going to be encouraged to get familiar with the language of the host country. Upon completion of studies, students will be awarded a European degree recognized in every European country. This degree will be something more than an academic degree, we expect. It is expected to be a proof of students' mobility efforts, learning languages, vocational learning, job shadowing, and community volunteering. In addition, Youth Alliance is planning to build a virtual European campus. It will also provide housing options to students and offer the necessary help to them as to become a real part of the community where they will choose to live and study, thus facilitating cultural exchange and mutual support. Concluding, I would like to emphasize that Youth Alliance is assuming a leading role in the future of education, research, and academic cooperation in Europe. The role of the University of Cyprus, as one of the universities participating in Youth Alliance, to the achievement of this goal is quite important. Therefore, you have all my wishes and the wishes of the Minister of Education for every success in your efforts. We are all looking forward to the results of this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Konstantinidou. Ms. Themis Christofidou, Director General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture at the European Commission, is kindly invited to deliver her opening remarks. Ms. Christofidou, it is an honor to have you here in this occasion.
It's a challenge always, these high stands. I'm too short for them. Thank you for the hospitality, Rector of the University of Cyprus, and thank you to the YUFE Alliance for inviting me here. I feel very touched that I can have the feeling of belonging in this great adventure with you. Indeed, Mr. President of the Maastricht University, you spoke of the usual suspects. And when we started in the European Commission designing the shape and form of these projects, the European universities, the temptation was big to give the European funds to the usual suspects, to the universities that are old, that are established, that have done thousands of European projects, and get on with it. Probably because of my coming from one of the smallest and most peripheral member states, I am keenly aware of the fact that Europe cannot be built with the few at the center, but it can only be built with everybody throughout the territory, and that it's only by being inclusive and by giving everybody the sense of belonging that we can one day feel that this is one Europe for all. So we decided that we are serving 28 member states and that we have to make it possible for everybody to participate. The fact is that there was an amazing interest for participation, and the universities that participated and did not get into the first round, the first 17 top-class alliances, are already preparing to go for the second round, which will be launched at the beginning of November. Also, some universities, that one of which I know very well, who felt that they are already very important and don't need this kind of prestige because their own prestige is already beyond. The minute they saw the first round enrolling, they decided that maybe we underestimated this and we are going to apply for the second round. So it's clearly becoming a brand name and everybody wants to be part of it. This also leads to governments of the universities that have been selected to start adding much funding so that they help their universities do even better. So if your respective governments haven't yet come to support with additional funding, you should go and push them, because I know that some countries are already doing it. When the rector of the University of Cyprus and the president of the University of Maastricht came to Brussels a year ago or a bit more to present the project with their teams, one thing that they repeated to me several times was, even if we don't get the European funding, we will carry on with the project. And it could have sounded like empty words, but it did sound quite convincing, I must say. And today, I see that actually this was true, because the enthusiasm, the commitment, and this feeling of a team that works together, that transpires from your partnership, shows that this was not just a slogan to sell your project, but it was a real commitment that you have put into this so much work that you're going to do it anyway. Impressive. Congratulations. In the Commission, we are very proud that your alliance wishes to be the champion in the fields of European identity, citizens' well-being, digital societies, and sustainability. These are the big challenges that Europe is facing today, and you're spot on. And from an education point of view, I welcome your determination to empower students, academics, researchers, and staff to work together, including in developing modular and personalized curricula and micro-credentials in your alliance. Student-centered learning and teaching practices, together with embedded and seamless mobility of students and staff, are indeed crucial to best prepare them for the jobs of tomorrow. It is only through deeper cooperation with a common long-term vision shared by higher education institutions across the European Union that we can gather the necessary brain power to devise the solutions to the big societal challenges, such as climate change, technological transformation, and growing inequalities. Now comes the time of implementing this vision into concrete actions. We expect European universities to implement real transformation at institutional levels well beyond any other EU project. I am convinced that success will depend on how much the selected alliances manage from the very beginning to involve as many students and staff as possible, and I think this is also at the heart of your project. This needs to be done, of course, at all levels of the engaged institutions, including all faculties, in order to achieve structural, systemic, and sustainable impact. Member States and the entire education community expects a lot from all of you. We know that the road can be bumpy at times, but you can count on us in the European Commission to support you, together with the Member States, in removing the financial and legal obstacles to the creation of a European education area. Having for the first time, hopefully on the 1st of November, a commissioner in charge of education and research offers us a unique opportunity to reinforce further the synergies between the different policies and to make the knowledge square a reality. The Commission President-elect, Ursula von der Leyen, was clear in the start of her commitments to the European Parliament that she supports not only the doubling of the Erasmus budget, but actually the tripling of the budget under the new financial envelopes starting 2021. With the necessary backing from Member States, and you all need to be at your level, at your respective level, pushing the Member States to back this, tripling Erasmus will allow a strong budget for the European Universities Initiative. Because European universities are not just a project. They are an ambitious long-term vision to build the university of the future. I would like to conclude by inviting your alliance to the high-level conference that we're organizing, co-hosting European Commission and Finnish presidency on the universities of the future on the 7th of November in Brussels. The conference will officially kick off the first 17 European alliances in presence of the EU education ministers and our new Commissioner for Innovation and Youth. I do hope to see you there. I wish you lots of success, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Christophidou. I'm delighted to invite Dr. Daniela Trani, Managing Director of the YUFE Alliance, for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the presentation, there will be a short time for a few questions to the speaker. Dr. Trani, it's fantastic to have you here. The podium is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who is here today, and in particular, Ms. Christophidou, for giving us the chance as universities to dare to dream a different future for higher education. That means a different future for our European society. The European Commission has made a bold move with this initiative. They have not asked us to write a simple project. They have asked us to lead society into a new era and to give all students the possibility to get trained, to get skilled, to become what they dream to be. So the initiative of European University, the European University Initiative that was launched in October 2018, aims at going beyond existing higher education cooperation models. We interpreted this as YUFE, not only as the possibility to create a new joint degrees, double degrees, but a new type of European degree. It's not enough to have bilateral agreements. We have to create an environment where students can choose what to study, where to study it, where to have their internships, which volunteering programs they want to contribute to. We want to deliver excellence in teaching, but like also Professor Paul highlighted, not for selected fews. We want to open up to new partnerships, like we are doing with the associated partners for the mutual benefit, but ultimately for the benefit of our students and our citizens. Building a growing level of integration via the European University Initiative will allow to build a higher level of integration for Europe. So who thinks that this is just a project for universities is not yet seeing it completely. This is a project that activates universities to activate others and to come together to create our future Europe. These are figures you have heard already from Madam Director. So it's a very bold commitment from the European Commission. We have now the task to lay the foundation of our young universities for the future of Europe in the next 3 years. We are very proud to have been the top scored alliance in this round. This shows that even if we are young universities, we have hearts and brains that can deliver the innovative ideas that Europe needs. National funding has been also confirmed from some of the member states. We hope that more member states, also of course of our partners, will commit to contribute, because we can only do this together with all the partners and together with all the governments and all the countries. We wish also the best of luck and the most creative time to all the other alliances that will apply for the next call that's going to be announced in November, not in October, like it's on this slide. But what moves YUFE? What do we want to achieve? Well, we aim at becoming a leading model of young, student-centered, open, non-elitist, inclusive university. Because everyone needs to be educated. To know is to can. So only thanks to knowledge we can be critical citizens and contribute to society. This means that we want to ensure that not only the children of wealthy families have the opportunity to have mobility, physical mobility, but everyone. And for me, this has a very personal relevance. I come from the south of Italy, from Naples. I was born to 2 elementary teachers, and I dreamt to become an astronaut. And I couldn't go on an Erasmus when I was in university because it was expensive, and my parents supported me throughout university, but that experience was just a bit too much for their budget. Well, when YUFE came along, it has been the first time that I have stopped dreaming of going to space, because this is such a moonshot for our society, and our universities are the best positioned to deliver this, I'm convinced. We don't want to do this alone. We want to do it through an effective and structured cooperation with the public and the private sector, with the citizens. We feel a social responsibility. We are not doing this for the branding. Like Madam General Director said, this is our identity. Our universities are student-centered. They are international, they are European. And they stand behind this European project with all their resources. We will do this by putting our students at the center of everything we do. They have already been at the center. They have been really navigating us, showing us the way in this past year and a half. And thanks to them, we stand here today with the pride and the joy to can implement this proposal. Who is YUFE? YUFE is 14 partners, full partners, associated partners, that are working together for one forward-looking Europe. But we are especially people. We are many people, very passionate, bright. We are a team. You see, this is, for example, a picture from our last meeting before Cyprus that was held at the University of Essex in Colchester at the end of August. Students, executive staff, work side by side, travel together, dine together, dare to dream together. And this is what is making the difference for us every day. So European Universities Initiative is not only groundbreaking for the universities, has shaken up our lives as individuals, and has brought us closer together. And this will enable us to deliver. I am sure. We come from each and every corner of Europe, and maybe even from more corners, and these are only the partners, full partners in red, yellow partners, associated partners in yellow, but there are also the staff, the students that come from many other partners, from many other countries that are not yet involved in the proposal in terms of partnership. This means we bring together many different cultures. We have different practices, different frameworks, legal, financial, and we have to talk, we have to communicate, and we have to be open to think of solutions that can make European universities possible. So every meeting starts with what is not possible and ends with what could we do to make it happen. These are the full partner universities, which you have already in part heard. So Maastricht University is coordinating the initiative. And University of Cyprus, University of Essex, University of Bremen, University of Antwerp, University of Eastern Finland, University of Rome Tor Vergata, University Carlos III de Madrid are the full partners who have initiated the alliance. They are very lucky to have as associated partners like-minded universities and organizations that include the University of Rijeka, Nicolaus Copernicus in Torun, Chiron Open Higher Education, the ADECO Group France, European Entrepreneurs, Educational Testing Service Global. They all play a key role in the proposal with their complementary expertise, their strengths that will allow us to mold the dream we have sketched in our proposal. But you will be wondering, what does YUFE mean for students? What does YUFE bring into higher education? Students are not passively receiving, they are co-creating our European university. But with every opportunity we are given in life, responsibilities also come along, and they are also responsible to deliver with us. They feel that. So they are students, but they are the co-creators. In our group, we have different tasks, but we are not students versus staff. We are students and staff side by side. YUFE learning will not only be, and is not only classroom, but is also work experience and social action. We'll provide access to opportunities, to learning opportunities also for non-traditional learners. These can be migrants or individuals from disadvantaged groups, younger learners, older learners, everyone that needs to learn to better contribute to society and be further empowered in their life. Students will be mentored by our academics, our excellent researchers, but also by professionals and entrepreneurs in our ecosystems. They are key to provide the students with the skills they need to be constructive, effective citizens and professionals. Education will be aligned with local and European needs. We are working together not only with the business, but also with the city governments, with the regional governments, and we are discussing with them how can we best approach the challenges that were mentioned before, so that we don't only train citizens, but we build professionals that can contribute to the local ecosystem. Because Europe is made of regions and cities. It's not an abstract entity. And those cities and regions need to have citizens and professionals that can make them thrive and close the gaps that exist nowadays. So what we dream is, to some extent, to become one European university. We'll see how far we can get, but we dream big. If we don't dream big, we will not be able to deliver. So YUFE is not only for students, but is also for citizens and younger people. One thing that our students have told us is that they also really want to be the ambassadors that go into the communities and become a support for children, also from disadvantaged groups, so that when they arrive in high school and when they have to choose for their path after high school, the choice will be only related to what moves them, not to what they have access to. So we will increase social participation and access to education. We will provide tools together with our associated partners, with local and regional governments, to reskill citizens that are unemployed in our regions. YUFE will empower youth via higher education. Digital literacy and digital support will be also offered to citizens, especially maybe older ones. We are, including me, we were not raised in the digital era, so we inhabit this world we are not completely familiar with, and young people can help us a lot to get further acquainted and empowered in the digital society. Ultimately, what YUFE will lead to is increased mutual support between students, staff, and citizens, between people that inhabit our Europe. If we go to the core, to the proposal, to what we want to do, we chose to focus on the 4 themes that you see on the top of this slide: European identity, responsibilities in a global world, citizens' well-being, digital societies, and sustainability. Because we believe that, as Madam Director said, these are the challenges of today and will be the challenges of tomorrow. We will address them not only via the traditional education in the classroom, but also via allowing our students to undertake internships, to volunteer, and to be part of challenge teams that will be addressing relevant questions. The YUFE student journey, that is the first of our flagships that you see here, is a bit the heart of our project. And this journey needs to provide all the pieces, not only the academic ones, but one of the key selling points, the key elements in YUFE will be the YUFE open programs. So I believe many alliances really made an effort to think how can we expand joint degrees, how can we offer more and better options. When we were working on the proposal and we were thinking, okay, which degrees should we go for, we thought, wait a moment, we have excellent programs already. They're accredited, they're really preparing our students well. Why not opening them up? And that's why the name, open programs. Our students will be able, hopefully one day, step by step, we want to get there, to enroll in YUFE, study in the Netherlands, then go for courses to Cyprus, to Spain, internships in Italy, and they will also have access to online learning and assessment via our virtual campus. And everything, their studies and their accomplishments will be available on the YUFE student card, which also will allow them access to the facilities of our universities and to public transportation and facilities in our cities. So we really want open programs, YUFE open programs, to become a quantum leap in European higher education, so that our students can personalize their curricula in all the 4 areas. They can acquire competencies that are tailored to labor market needs in all countries and everywhere in Europe. We will deploy existing accredited programs with unique local fingerprints. And even at the beginning, the achievements of the students, the European-wide training will be visible via diploma supplement. And one day, in the European degree, they will receive. But for us, civic action, social action, extracurricular effort and achievements are equally important. And we believe they have to be visible because the employers care, society cares. So YUFE thought of the YUFE star system. The students will have the choice to be mobile, the opportunity to be mobile physically, virtually, or in a blended form. And for their mobility, they will receive a mobility star. Similarly, they will be provided the opportunity to learn the local languages of all the universities. And this will be acknowledged by the language star. So the YUFE stars will become a visible mark, a visible fingerprint, and will tell how our students can contribute to society beyond the professional sphere. I will not go into much detail today about all the other activities we will develop, but I believe that it's important to share the other unique selling points or key activities. We will are developing a YUFE Work and Learn program that will provide students with internships at businesses, local organizations, government. And what we want is that they can also get a stipend from these experiences and this work, because this will also allow students from less wealthy families to have access to the program. They will be learning and they will be supporting themselves. We will be supporting them together. The Ufo Challenge Teams will be interdisciplinary, intersectoral, and real societal teams made of students, researchers, entrepreneurs, professionals, and citizens that will address local challenges of European and global relevance. They are being identified also with the cities and the regions of our YUFE partners, and will be playing a key role in the training of the students, but also and especially in strengthening the contribution YUFE wants to give to the local ecosystems. Finally, because our students need also to live in our cities, we should make not only things easier for them, but also make sure that they get integrated in the local communities. And one way will be also to develop schemes through which they can live together or they can live with citizens, so that they can strengthen each other. And this is what we call the social cohesion that YUFE will bring. We have decided to do things in a different way also at the governance level. YUFE has decided to go for a concentric structure in governance with the strategy board at its core. And the strategy board includes not only the top executives of all YUFE partners, but also 2 student representatives. It's chaired currently by Professor Martin Paul, president of Maastricht University, and will be co-chaired by a student representative. And actually today, the first election will take place here in Cyprus, at the University of Cyprus. The strategy board will be supported by the other bodies, the YUFE Student Forum, the project management team, and the project management team will be fed by task forces. They are the other hearts of the proposal. They are dedicated to develop, implement the activities we have sketched. The YUFE think tank will be the wider community from all our universities that will make sure that we don't start young and end up old. So they are continuously challenging us, I can guarantee you. They will be on our neck from now on. And that is a wonderful thing and something that YUFE really needs. An external advisory committee will also provide advice to the Alliance to keep us sharp and to make sure that what we deliver is also in line with what society needs. And yearly we will come together in a town hall that will be preceded also by a YUFE Academy for students with a summer winter school and with workshops for academics, for professionals. So we have lots of work ahead. When we look as a team to this roadmap, we feel dizzy. However, we have no doubts that we can deliver this because we have many bright, passionate minds that are working with us, our students, whom I would like to ask to rise. They have guided us. Please all rise. They have brought us here. Of course, we had to do some work also as staff. But without them, YUFE will not be as ambitious and as inspiring. And to close, I want to say that I feel as an individual extremely privileged. And I hope that we can always continue to work together as we have done in the past year and a half. Because in this way, we will have the Young University for the Future of Europe become one of the very first living European universities. So not only follow us, but work with us, because we need everyone in this room and outside to contribute to achieve this dream. Thank you. I would be happy to take any questions may you have.
Everybody's overwhelmed.
There is a question there.
Thank you very much for this very ambitious project. I think we're all very excited here in Cyprus. The only worry I look at forward is accreditation and the fact that 8 universities are accredited from 8 different national bodies. So we love the idea, I think, of having joint degrees, but how far is your program, how far are the accrediting bodies on board to ensure that with your ambitious program will actually take place by 2022? Thank you.
Thank you for asking this question. It's a very important one. So first of all, as Ms. Christofidou stressed, we have them on our side. The challenges we will encounter will not only need to be faced by us, but we have strong allies in the room and outside. The national accreditation bodies are actually already speaking, in our case, with some of our universities, asking us what they can do to support. So they are not absolutely ignoring the initiative. They want to understand what this will entail from their side. So there is already a conversation ongoing. And the answers will come sometime down the road, but we will have to work and see instead of wait and see.
Thank you, and Dr. Chani, for your enlightening presentation. Thank you for a most stimulating and informative talk. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, it is important and of great interest and significance to listen to the students' views on the YUFE. After all, they are at the heart of the project. I would like to invite Ms. Asha Ali from the University of Essex for her speech.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all okay. First of all, I just wanted to speak about my journey with YUFE and how I started. I started in January. My first meeting was in Madrid, and that meeting was just to cover our president, as he had other meetings to attend at our university. I wasn't expecting a lot when it comes to some of the meetings that we sit on, but I fell in love very quickly. A bit of background about myself. I'm a Norwegian citizen studying at a British institution. I did an Erasmus. I speak 4 languages. So when I came to the event and saw everything that was going on, I knew I desperately wanted to be involved. I then ended up becoming elected as the president of the Students' Union at Essex, which meant that I became the 3rd president at Essex to be involved in the YUFE project. It's a project that we believe in, so giving our students this opportunity, especially with Brexit looming, I'm really sorry to bring up the B word, shows how truly incredible the institutions and the individuals in this alliance truly are. And being able to sit on the board for the previous meeting before we elect our new board members was truly inspiring to be involved in such an amazing project. So 10 months later, what it looks like for students, there has been involvement from the get-go. As I said, I'm the 3rd president at Essex now to be involved in YUFE. And now we have a lot more student representatives, as you saw earlier in the room. And as Daniela mentioned, we'll be having our election later on today to elect the new board, and one of them will become the vice chair of the main board. So for me, I just wanted to express how important YUFE has been for students, and speaking especially for the students at Essex. This is something that we truly welcome as a very international university with over 30% international students. I am very nervous. I'm not the best at public speeches. So I would like to end it there, but say thank you all very much, and hope to see you all very soon.
Thank you, Ms. Ali. Next, let us invite Mr. Kostas Georgiadis from Maastricht University.
So, good morning, everyone. As you might have guessed, my name is more Greek than Dutch, so I'm actually from Cyprus. So firstly, it's great to be back home with YUFE on this occasion, and to really see that one of the reasons that I went to Maastricht was at the time I saw that, which was 5 years ago, I saw that, you know, where could I go next to study after my high school. So I chose Maastricht as an international, with an international environment, with a good European law school, but now I come back to Cyprus 5 years after, and I also tell myself, why not do maybe one day another master's back home. So it's great to be here. I think the Director General, the Director General of covered a lot, also the Managing Director of YUFE, Daniela. But I just wanted to point out a few things from a student perspective that I believe YUFE covers. I think that as young citizens, and we see how much young citizens have now taken the lead around the world in many places, whether it's Hong Kong or Brexit or in the US or with the climate marches, we see that young people play a more and more prominent role nowadays. And I believe YUFE is very reflective in a way that it meets these expectations that our students have. As co-creators, as co-writers of the proposal, it's reflected in the governance. Today we'll have our first elections to elect a student board. So we see that civic participation also starts within YUFE. But in a broader scale, I want to point out that EU and Europe as a continent, I find that we're the leader right now in the world, since some other people decided to take a different path. And I think that what YUFE also reflects on a wider scale, a more global scale, is also we see that UNESCO is putting a lot of emphasis on global citizenship education, on education for sustainable development. We see that young people nowadays are becoming more and more sensitive to topics such as migration. For example, in Maastricht, one of the flagships we have is the refugee project Maastricht, which basically started by students. So we see that students are very much willing to act. And I think YUFE provides a platform where they can also have that action and participation recognized. And also from a personal perspective and a more reflective perspective on the process of UFE, which I think was very important to observe from the very first meeting in Brussels, when the idea of whether we should participate and if how and all, and put the students at the forefront, reflecting through all this journey. It was really important for me to see that all the participants, starting from the very top of the management, so the rectors and the presidents of the universities, which we're very thankful as students to them, because we saw that there was a genuine commitment to include the students in it, also staff, academic and non-academic staff, because I must say that usually in projects you see academic staff involved, but also non-academic staff are also at the heart of this project to really participate. But what struck me the most was that for all of us, it seems to be that there's something personal in UFE. And that's very important. I think that's one of the very important aspects that made UFE a success. And by personal, I mean whether, I'm from Cyprus and I was happy to see the University of Cyprus participate, or whether someone came from a different background or had to migrate or had a passion for a certain topic that UFE addressed. So to conclude, I want to say that as students, we believe that UFE covers very much holistically, our expectations and our concerns for the future. In the era of SDGs and the importance of climate, I think UFE really responds to that. So again, thank you very much to everyone for really motivating the students and really including them from the top management to the staff, but also the fellow students, whether they're new on board or from the past. And I very much look forward to the future of UFE. It will be challenging, and it has been challenging so far, but I'm pretty sure that we're up for the battle and to face these challenges. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Georgiadis. Next, let us invite Ms. Amalia Chrysostomou from the University of Cyprus.
Again, too short for this. Distinguished guests, dear rectors, vice rectors, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Most presentations tend to finish with a quote, hence I decided to start with one by Abraham Lincoln. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. We are living in a rapidly changing world, and we certainly have more comforts than our ancestors. But as young people, we also have many more responsibilities than ever before. Everyone keeps telling us that we are the future, that we need to shape the world we want to live in, but no one really mentions how. This alliance could be the cornerstone of the journey to the future we are dreaming of. Just have a look around you. People from all over Europe gathered in this little island in the Mediterranean to work together to provide students the opportunity to exchange visions, learn, and discover. This innovative project aims to unify all the 8 participant universities into one European university. To make this happen, it's not easy. It means to challenge what we all take for granted, to change things we think are obvious. The great problem with reforms or transformations is the tyranny of common sense. People often say, it can be done differently. That's how it's done. Here we are to prove that it can be done differently, that Europe can and will have a European university open to everyone. For us students, this creates so many opportunities that I can't list in a small presentation. We will be able to travel, experience other cultures, share perspectives, and exchange knowledge and ideas with people all over Europe. I don't know if you even knew about Cyprus before the University of Cyprus joined this alliance. As a Cypriot and student of the University of Cyprus, I am delighted that we are a partner in this project. We now have a voice. This alliance is a great opportunity for all of us at the University of Cyprus to interact with people in the other 7 partner countries in Europe. I always thought that the world is hungry for inspiration. It craves stories of success in dealing with complex issues, especially in small countries. This is why I believe Cyprus can be an inspiration to others, and it can show its great potential in the academic field and beyond. We are a bit far from Central Europe, but we strive to develop and reach as far as we can to make an impact. The key to real participation is to help people not feel small. People feel powerless and they are tired of not being heard. What can be achieved with this alliance is something totally new. This project will take the University of Cyprus and the community in general to the heart of European culture and development. Students and teachers coming to Cyprus will help the university evolve and become better and more international, while the Cypriot students will have the opportunity to experience other cultures and campuses. In this long journey we are starting, it doesn't mean that everything will be perfect. And it doesn't mean that we won't have contradictions or complex issues to solve. By making our own choices, we'll be able to develop resilience in dealing with diversity and inclusivity problems. Open-mindedness and lifelong learning are two of the most important benefits that will arise out of the work of this alliance, after all. These high-resolution pictures that you see on the screen shows the first 414 people that graduated from the University of Cyprus in 1996. It's a bit blurry, but for us it means a lot. It marks the start of an incredible journey, a journey that has been on ever since. Someday, in the near future, I hope that a similar picture will be taken, and this time there will be bright smiles from all over Europe who came to study here, stayed, and loved our island as much as we do. And we will make history again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chrysostomou. Thank you. I would like to thank all the students for speaking to us today. Interesting and informative views. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we would like to express our sincere appreciation for your attendance and participation in this plenary meeting. Best wishes in our journey for creating one of the first European universities. You are kindly informed that a networking coffee will follow in the atrium area. Thank you. Enjoy your coffee. Have a nice day.